This video isn't here to teach you to be nicer. It's here to destroy the soft version of you that's terrified of being misunderstood. It's here to teach you something nobody ever encouraged you to do. Be rude in the right dose.
You ever notice how many times a day you work to not seem rude? How many times you say yes while you're screaming no inside, just so you don't look difficult? Just so you can keep being the nice guy in the group? Because this is where it gets ugly. That pathetic need you have to please everyone isn't kindness. It's a leash. You police yourself all the time. Lower your voice, laugh at things that aren't funny, and apologize even when you did nothing wrong. For what? To be seen as a good person. But what if I told you that's exactly what's destroying your respect, your presence, and even your life? This video isn't here to teach you to be nicer. It's here to destroy the soft version of you that's terrified of being misunderstood. It's here to teach you something nobody ever encouraged you to do. Be rude in the right dose. Rude to people who cross the line. Rude to people who drain your time, your peace, and your energy. And rude to that ridiculous obligation to always be gentle and agreeable. Machiavelli already knew this centuries ago. Anyone who wants to lead can't live begging for approval. You will never be respected while you keep trying to be everybody's favorite. You'll only be respected when you stop selling yourself for pennies. So, I'm going to be direct with you. If you watch this to the end and apply what I'm about to show you, you'll never be able to be the same good boy again. You will start to bother people. You'll be called cold, rude, arrogant. But for the first time in your life, people will think twice before stepping on you. If you're tired of being the doormat for your family, your friends, and your boss, stay with me. And only if you have the guts, write in the comments right now, "I'm rude." Now maybe you think you've never been manipulated, but look at your day-to-day life. Look at the small scenes you live through without noticing. That's where the disease starts. Not in the big moments, but in the details. In the crumbs of behavior you learn to swallow since childhood. Think about it. You're at a restaurant. The waiter messes up your order and brings something you don't even like. You look at the plate, your stomach turns, but your mouth says, "It's fine." That's not politeness. That's fear. Fear of looking picky, difficult, rude. Fear of being seen as someone who has boundaries. And when someone asks where you want to eat, you have preferences. You have cravings. You actually want something specific. But you give the classic answer. Anything. You think that's being flexible. It's not. It's fear of disagreeing, disappointing, and taking up space. Family plays a role too. You grow up hearing, "Be quiet. Don't talk back. Don't make that face. Be respectful." So when someone disrespects you, you swallow it, force a smile, and think, "Let it go." But that's not inner peace. That's cowardice disguised as maturity. The price? A lifetime of swallowing garbage with a mouth full of regret. And work? 5:45 p.m. You're leaving, finally done. Your boss shows up with that shameless smile and says, "Just one quick thing for you, okay?" And what do? You accept, even though you hate it, even though you're exhausted. Because deep inside, behind that nice guy mask, there's fear of being seen as someone who doesn't cooperate. These scenes look small, but they shape you. They limit you. They turn you into the man who apologizes for existing. The man everyone uses, pushes, and exploits because they know you'll never say no. That's how the disease starts. In the small concessions. In the "it's fine." In the swallowed desires. And in the timid way you walk through life trying to be loved by everyone. And that's why the world treats you like nothing. The truth is harsh, but I'm going to hand you back to yourself. The man who lives trying to please everyone isn't just kind. He's blind. He loses the ability to read the room, to sense bad intentions, to see traps that are right in front of him. And here's where Machiavelli comes in with a lesson that should be tattooed on your mind. Be a lion and be a fox. A fox to see the traps, and a lion to scare off anyone who tries to dominate you. But the nice guy is neither. He's a rabbit trying to survive in the jungle. When you live trying to please everyone, you lose your cunning. You assume everyone is well-intentioned. It's not a big deal. He didn't mean it like that. She was just joking. You interpret malice as humor, disrespect as exaggeration, exploitation as normal. The fox in you, the part that detects danger, stayed quiet. Think about the times you felt that discomfort. A sarcastic comment, an abusive request, a pointless favor, a provocation disguised as a joke. And you ignored it, smiled, pretended you didn't get it. And worse, you called that maturity. But that's not maturity. That's lack of cunning. Machiavelli said a leader needs to be a fox to avoid the wolves' traps. But you don't even see the wolves. You invite them in. The other half is just as important. Be a lion. Have presence, firmness, boundaries. When someone crosses the line roars. Not to fight. To make one thing clear, you don't cross this line, but you do the opposite. You hug the wolf, smile, and say, make yourself at home. And you know why? Because you were trained to fear your own roar. You were taught firmness is rudeness, boundaries are arrogance, clarity is bad manners. And the result? You live in a position where anyone feels comfortable messing with you. You're the guy who accepts everything, charges nothing, imposes no cost, creates no consequences. And the man who doesn't impose consequences doesn't impose respect. A rabbit survives by being fast. You survive by being agreeable. But the human jungle doesn't work like that. The boss who exploits you knows you won't react. The friend who uses you knows you'll never say no. The partner who drains you knows you're terrified of disappointing. So you become the easiest path every time. Not only because you're weak, but because you never learned what Machiavelli tried to scream at the world when he warned that the man who wants to be loved more than he wants to be feared will always be controlled. From now on, you need to recover the two instincts you abandoned. The fox, cunning, the ability to spot bad intentions, excess, manipulation, to read what wasn't said, to notice when someone is testing you, to understand when a joke isn't a joke, it's disrespect. The lion, firmness, not yelling, not fighting everyone, just making it clear you exist. Your presence has weight, you have limits, and there will be consequences when people cross them. Those two natures together pull you out of the nice guy role and put you back into the role of a man nobody dares to test. Now I'm going to give you 4 small, automatic signs you don't even notice, but they broadcast your weakness to the world. Signs you probably use every day that make everyone around you decode you instantly. The first is the yes that comes out before you think. Someone asks you for a favor, actually demands it, and without analyzing, without thinking, without measuring cost and consequence, you shoot. Sure, no problem. That's not kindness. That's fear of displeasing. Panic at being seen as someone who has boundaries. It's the unconscious reflex of a man trained to be the easiest option. The second is infinite tolerance. They show up late again. That coworker makes that disrespectful joke again. That relative comments on your life like you're incapable of thinking, and you swallow it. You say nothing. You don't react. You don't take a stand. You call it not starting drama, but underneath it's fear of losing approval, fear of friction, fear of disappointing. The world reads it like this. He can take it, so I can go further. The third sign is false peace. You think avoiding conflict protects you. It doesn't. Avoiding conflict isn't peace, it's escape. And the man who escapes becomes prey. That's how the world works. The man who sets limits becomes a reference. but the man who runs becomes an option. The fourth sign is the always agreeable persona. Every group has a nice guy, and that guy almost always takes the most emotional hits. He carries weight that isn't his. He rescues everyone. Nobody considers him. Nobody listens to him. Nobody respects him. Because when you're pleasant with everyone, you end up being valuable to no one. And this is where Cicero's story comes in. A brilliant man who fell for being too good. Marcus Tullius Cicero, one of the greatest intellects of Roman history. An extraordinary speaker, respected, admired, highly educated. But with a fatal mistake, he believed courtesy and cordiality were enough to survive among wolves. Cicero spoke truth openly, assuming everyone had the same moral compass. He trusted too much. He believed in dialogue. He underestimated the malice around him. He thought he could win by being only correct. And when he realized the trap, it was too late. He was betrayed, hunted, and killed by the same men who saw in him what Machiavelli would later expose. An intelligent man, but too docile for the game of power. Cicero was the fox. He had vision, skill, logic. But he failed to be a lion when he needed to roar. And you? How many times do you do the same? How many times do you avoid conflict, thinking it will save your skin? How many times do you believe being a good person will protect you? Cicero was a giant, and he fell. And you really think you'll survive in the jungle being weaker than he was? Every time you apologize without reason, every time you accept what you shouldn't, every time you swallow disrespect, you're not avoiding problems. You're training the world to see you as prey. And if you don't start being rude in the right dose, rude to people who cross the line, rude to those who drain you, rude to those who diminish you, you'll repeat Cicero's fate. Too intelligent to be stupid, but too docile to survive the jungle. Now we're going into the part that hurts. Not what you do, but why you do it. Because understanding symptoms is useless if you don't understand the root. And the root is always the same. You were conditioned to believe being loved is safer than being respected. This started long before your first yes you didn't want to give. You ever notice how every child is naturally selfish? They cry when they want, reject what they don't like, scream when something bothers them. They are honest, raw, whole. Then the training comes. Lower your voice. Don't talk like that. Be nice. Don't disagree. Don't talk back. You'll be punished if you keep acting like that. Life taught you that being yourself brings punishment, but obedience brings affection. And without noticing, you adapted. You learned to shape your behavior to secure approval. Not because it's morally right, but because it feels safe. You didn't learn to please out of kindness. You learned it out of fear. When you say yes too fast, apologize for nothing, accept what you shouldn't, it's not really you doing it. It's the reflex of that little boy who learned displeasing people means losing love. You grew in body, but emotionally you're still trying to survive. The difference is now, it's not your parents punishing you. It's the whole world. You think your politeness protects you. You think kindness guarantees good relationships. You think diplomacy prevents enemies. That's the perfect fantasy, but it's still fantasy. Here's the brutal truth. The man who avoids conflict isn't mature. He's fragile. And the world knows it. That's why it reads you like an instruction manual. The world respects two things, consequences and mystery, and you offer neither. You're predictable. You never say no, never confront, never react. You're emotionally available 24/7. So in people's minds, you become harmless. And the human brain has an automatic reaction to what doesn't pose risk. It uses it. No guilt, no remorse, no second thought. And this is the cruelest part. The nice guy is addicted. Addicted to approval. Every time you say yes and someone smiles, thanks you, calls you a good guy, you get a hit of relief. Like a chemical addiction. A small reward now, a massive loss later. You trade your dignity for crumbs of peace. And when you try to say no, guilt crushes you. Anxiety swallows you. Your whole body panics. Why? Because you spent your whole life believing no equals abandonment. A child afraid of the dark, trapped inside an adult body. But this is exactly where the cure starts. The point of this video: be rude. Rude to other people's expectations. Rude to guilt they try to dump on your shoulders. Rude to the social role they forced you to play. Rude to that irrational fear of disappointing others. That's not aggression, that's liberation. And when you ignore that pathetic need for approval, you finally find something you never had: autonomy. It starts small. One no, said without explaining. One message answered only when you can. One request refused without guilt. One invitation rejected calmly. One boundary set with no justification. That wakes up something that was dead inside you. Presence, value, territory. And the world notices. It recalibrates immediately. Because for the first time in your life, you're doing what Cicero didn't. You're being a fox to see the traps and a lion to avoid being devoured by them. I bet you got here thinking the problem was just saying yes too much. Thinking it was only a lack of boundaries, courage, attitude. But here's the shock. The world never treated you badly because you were kind. It treated you badly because you were predictable. Predictability doesn't create respect. Predictability creates consumption. You think people abuse you because they're evil? No. They abuse you because you trained them too. It was never injustice. It was training. It hurts, but it frees you. Every no problem, every relax, every I'm always here if you need me. You reinforced the pattern and the world responded exactly as it should. People didn't invade your territory. You left the gate open. There's a silent rule that governs relationships, hierarchies, friendships, work. People respect what costs something and despise what's cheap. Your time was cheap. Your opinions were cheap. Your presence was cheap. Your patience was infinite, so it had no value. Your yes was automatic, so it meant nothing. The mistake was never being kind. The mistake was being free. When you start saying, I'm not going, I can't, that doesn't work for me, you create friction for the first time. And friction changes hierarchy. People see you differently, not as aggressive, not as arrogant, but as someone who isn't always available. Someone who can't be manipulated by guilt. Someone who doesn't respond instantly. Someone who doesn't carry other people's weight. Someone who doesn't care about disappointing everyone. That shift is so strong it changes your posture, your voice, your energy, even the way you dress. You stop being nice and you become unpredictable. And guess what? Humans respect the unpredictable. They fear it. They negotiate differently with it. That's the power of being rude. Not ignoring people. Ignoring the role they assigned you. The world never treated you like you were weak because it thought you had no strength. It treated you like you were weak because you never used the strength you had. You think you're gentle? No. You're just a lion that learned to meow. You think you're understanding? No. You're just a fox that learned to close its eyes. The world always knew if you wanted to. You could bite. You could roar. You could tear things apart. And that's why so many people felt comfortable using you, because they knew you were huge and would still never react. But when you change, when you make it clear there are consequences now, boundaries now, wait now, people get scared. They back off. They change how they talk to you. And you finally understand. The problem was never being good. The problem was never having the courage to be dangerous. If this hit you and you want more content like this, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and click the hype button so YouTube pushes it to more people.